What it do, squad? It's your boy Geek Samurai coming to you back with another video, man. In this video, if y'all did not see the thumbnail to this video, do not click it because I'm telling you right now, this is a spoiler talk review for John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellem. What I just got back, man. What a movie. What a fantastic movie to close out a trilogy action gung fu series about the Continental, about John Wick and his life. And we're going to get right into this, man, because I'm going to tell you, this movie was fantastic with a capital F from start to mother freaking finish, y'all. I'm going to try not to curse on this joint because I don't want YouTube saying or demonetizing me or taking my video down. So I'm trying to keep it PG. But what a fantastic movie. Bruh. John freaking Wick. Now we see him in New York and it's raining and it's grungy and it's just pouring rain. And he looking like he should have been retired a long time ago. He's been retired for 5 years, came back out because his wife and his dog died in the first movie. If you haven't seen that movie, spoiler alert, his dog died. His wife died, he could deal with it, but when his dog died, oh, that was it, because somebody killed his dog. This guy came out of retirement, and let me tell you, what a way to start off this movie. Because now in this movie, you see him with the dog, but he looks hurt, he looks tired, he looks weary, and he's searching. He only has 1 hour before excommunicado begins. You know what I'm saying? Because he killed an assassin. You're not supposed to do any type of assassination or anything like that on the continental ground, no matter which country or what part of the world you're in, especially in New York, because that seems to be like the headquarters. That seems to be like the overall. That's the first continental that ever was made was in New York, and you have continentals. I think in the last movie they had a continental overseas, like in London or somewhere like that. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch that movie. But I want to talk about this movie, man. So we see John Wick. He's looking for help. He's looking for answers. He don't know what to do. And people are just like looking for him. It's not even an hour yet. And he's already getting killed and people already trying to murk him 5-10 minutes prior to that. So he's in a library. He ends up in one of the libraries in New York. And he went up to the teller and said, oh, I'm looking for a certain book that has a certain distinct look. And, oh, that rhymes. Give me that. And he's looking for a specific section that is in. So the teller tells him where it is. She wrote it down. She said second floor. So he goes up to that floor. When he gets to that floor, he finds the book. And he opens it up, and there's a page that is like it's sealed. It has like a picture of like a Renaissance picture. He peels it back gingerly like. And you see a photo of his wife and him. You see a rosemary. You see the mark where you seal of approval with your blood. You see that. Bruh. This man had everything that he needed to get the hell up out of New York, bruh. And then all of a sudden, when he's about to put the photo back, because he got everything he needed, you see this big, giant looking, he looked like, if y'all are wrestling fans, he looked like Giant Gonzalez. That's what he looked like. This big dude's talking about, oh, it's good to see you again, Mr. Wick. You know that you're marked for excommunicado, right? And John's like, yo, it's not even time yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not time yet. What are you doing? Bruh, it don't matter. This dude is not wasting no freaking time. So he's there fighting John, taking his head, smash it into the bookcases and everything. John has the book that he about to put back on his shelf with his wife's photo in it of him and his wife. He's like murking this man, smacking him across the head. I guess you can call it book food. Because he's doing all type of moves and everything with the book, son. Smacking him up, torquing his neck. Yo, and by the time he put the book in his mouth, and he's there opening up his mouth and breaking his jaw, then he finally gets the giant down to like one knee. He takes him over to a table, put the book on the table, put his head into it, smashed his jaw again into the book, and then he went up and did like a little semi-jump and cracked that man, broke his whole neck with the book. How do you kill somebody with a book, man? How? And from that fight, John got a little wound or whatever. He got stabbed or whatever from the giant, from some other assassins or whatever trying to get at him. Yo, it is just freaking crazy how that went down, bruh. So then we see him trying to look for like a doctor or one of his old friends that would patch him up whenever he did like assassination work back in the day. So he finally gets a password, and it's like 10 minutes left on the clock, and it keeps going back from that little. It looked like a office area where you have all these ladies tattooed up and everything. You see the one lady, the one operator saying, "Oh, 10 minutes to excommunicado for John Wick. $14 million is the bounty." At 6 p.m., that's when it's going to go into effect. Excommunicado. And you see John, it's like 5 minutes left, and the doctor's trying to patch him up and stuff like that. He said, hurry up, hurry up. Like, you need to hurry this up, bro. Can't get it done. So, as soon as it hits, 5 seconds left on the clock. As soon as it hits 6 o'clock, the operator announces, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Excommunicado for John Wick is in effect. Boom. You just see everybody stop dialing the phone, stop writing on the board. Excommunicado is in effect. And they said it's open. So you see them, and now you start hearing the phones go off again. You hear the freaking operator. You see the people changing the phone links or whatever to transfer the calls or whatever. And you see them writing on the board, John Wick, $14 million. Excommunicado now open. And they're typing it in, activated. Bruh, it's just crazy. So the doctor can't patch him no more. The doctor already knows that he's cool because he's helping out John. So he tells John, listen, I can't help you no more. So John takes a mirror, swings that joint around, and then boom. He don't waste no time. This dude, John, is going in. He's actually finished sewing his own skin up. He got the mirror. He got the sewing needle and thread, and he's just going in, son, with the sutures. He got it done, and then he's looking for guns. He's looking for whatever he can find because now he's on the run. So the doctor said, yo, they're coming. In this part of the movie, we don't know who's coming, but it's the high table, which we're going to get later into the movie. Bruh, you see the doctor said, John, they're going to have it out for me. So I need you to make it look like, you were trying to escape and I was trying to fight you off. So he gives a gun to John. He's drinking at the same time. This old oriental looking doctor or whatever. John he tells John where to shoot. Right above, shoot me in the abdomen, but right above the kidney, right above the spleen or whatever. And he shoots him in the abdomen. And they say, shoot me right above the heart, but in the shoulder. He shoots him again. And then John said, thank you, Doc. And he just bolts out of there, bruh. So now we get to the scene where John is in the streets again with his damn dog and he's running and everything. Bruh, he gets into a cab. He can't get to where he wanted to go, so he tells the cab, take my dog to the Continental. Make sure that the concierge, make sure that the butler or the waiter there takes care of my dog. I'm on the run. I can't take care of this dog right now. So he gives him a coin. He always got those Continental coins. I love those coins, man. Those coins are dope. They need to do a series about those coins. I'm telling you. And I heard there's a TV show that's coming out. So I want to know more about the Continental. How the first Continental was created. And how they got the rest of the Continental. Who was the first assassin. How did the first coin was made. How was the first mark made. I want to know all of that. Because they talk about that later in the movie. So John is on the run. He just gets out the cab. The cab driver's going to take the dog, the pit bull, to the Continental. And he's on the run. So he's fighting off dudes in freaking stables. He's fighting dudes in the street. This dude, John, gets on a horse and he's fighting dudes on a horseback. It look like the Triad or the Yakuzas on bikes. They're going after this man. And John is murking everyone, son. With guns, with knives. He first fight the Yakuza in like this tunnel with the knives, man. Oh my God. The way he just kept stabbing them with them knives, bruh. He did not give a shit. He did not give a shit. First, I'm a big fan of the Gung Fu. I love the Gung Fu to death. But when he got the knives going, bruh, those knife choreographic karate moves, oh my gosh, man. He was just murking them dudes. And then when they got to the stable, when he was fighting the bad villains in the stable with the horses, he just slapping the horses on the shoulder, on the leg. And and the horses kicking up their hind legs and kicking the bad guys and knocking them into the stable walls and everything. Bruh, so freaking good, man. So good. All John is trying to do is trying to get past it. He's trying to go back to his tribe, you know what I mean? Where he was trained and raised and everything. So he finally gets there. And it's just crazy how he was trying to get in, but he's excommunicado. So wherever he goes, assassins just trying to kill him, no matter what. But that Rosemary is like a parlay. That's his ticket to get up out of New York. He's trying to get passes. He's trying to find a way to save his life because he wants to live. He don't want to die. He wants to live to keep that memory of his wife in his mind. That's why he's trying to live. He don't give a shit about nothing else. Yo, so he finally gets to the place where he was first trained. I guess he was like an orphan boy. They brought him in. He had to get his mark or whatever and hand over his ticket, which was the Rosemary, to this lady. She trains the guys to be fighters, doing wrestling moves and jujitsu and fighting. And she has girls too. And she's teaching them how to be ballerinas, how to have balance and poise. And yo, what a scene, man. She was badass. She said, yo, why you got to go do all this stuff? All for some puppy. And she's trying to train these girls, and John is messing with her time. She don't have no time for this. About some damn puppy. And John's like, yo, it's not just a puppy. I need passage. So she said, okay, once I give you this passage, that's it. You can never come back. She takes the Rosemary, rips off the crucifix, and takes the beads, put the beads on the table, gives it to the henchman. He takes it, puts it on a stick, spike. Yo, he burns that joint and puts that ticket. It's like a mark on his back with the tattoos that he already had. You see those tattoos in the other two movies. Those tattoos mean something. So that was his ticket to get branded and put it on his back tattoo. And you can see that. So he goes onto one of the boats. He goes undercover. And where he wants to go, he said, I want to go to paradise. I want to go to Casablanca. So we see him in Casablanca. And look who he's trying to look for. Now, he's excommunicado over there, too. He's excommunicado over there, too, as well. It's crazy. So this dude, this henchman or whatever, stops those guys that was trying to get, because John comes off the boat, and you already see these guys. They got the cell phones. It look like assassin phones. They get a text. That's who you got to kill. That's who you got to take out. The ransom just went up from 14 to 15 million. Bruh. It's just going up, because if he doesn't die within that time, that hour or whatever, the ransom is just going to keep going up. Maybe 14 to 15 to 20 to 30. It doesn't matter. The price will go up and people going to be more desperate. Bruh. So John is seeking out help. He's seeking out a way to get his life back, get this excommunicado off his back. So he's looking for a girl that he used to run with back in the day, Sophia. And the henchmen that were there waiting for him by the boat, they just knew who he was. He got the long hair, he got the gringy look, he got the scruffy beard. They knew who he was. So the henchman that works with Sophia, he's telling these guys he has amnesty. He has a pass. And the guys are still trying to kill John. That guy just took him out. He turned around, took his gun, pop! Shot my man's right in the head. Because he just told you that John has a pass and you still trying to kill him. Come on, man. So the henchman, the loyal servant to Sophia, which is Halle Berry, that's my girl. She kicks ass. I love this in Sawfish when she played Dorothy Danger. I loved her in every movie when she played Die Another Day. I'm a Halle Berry fan. Monsters Ball. I'm a Halle Berry fan for life, bro. To see her in this movie, bro. Oh my gosh, yo. So good. So the henchman takes him into the. It looks like she has like her own. You know what I'm saying? Her own base or whatever. It's the Moroccan Continental. She's up in the penthouse. The Continental is in every country, man. There's a Continental in London. There's a Continental in Asia, in Japan. Now you have one in Morocco. It is crazy to see a Moroccan Continental. So she's in a penthouse. The henchman brings John there. John is waiting for her. John Wick is waiting for her. She finally comes out, but she can't wait. She's like, yo, she sicks the dogs on her. That's what John is greeted by. These two angry German shepherds. Bruh, they're ready to maul this man. And then she finally comes out. And she just puts one bullet in him. She didn't even waste no time. Because I guess something happened to them in the past. Maybe he left her hanging. We didn't really get an idea what was going on. But yo, she put one bullet in him, saying, you deserve that. I didn't kill you, but you deserve that. I'm not going to kill you because it's not my job. But you are a wanted man. And I don't want to be helping you because, you know, it's like these people are coming and they know who helps John. They know. They have messengers and assassins all over the damn place. There's nowhere he can go where people don't know where he is and who's helping him and who's a snitch and going back to the high table. The high table's coming. Sophia don't care. She wants to hear what he has to say. So, because he helped her in the past and they have a joint mark. He sealed his blood on it. She sealed her blood on it. He helped her out about, I guess, with her daughter in the past. So she's sitting down talking to him. The German Shepherds are right. They're like right by his face, right by his leg, seeing if he's going to try and make a pass at her. So they're about to kill this dude. These dogs are trained, man. She trained them good. So she's like, I don't know if I could help you, man. He said, I need to talk to the man, you know what I'm saying, who runs this place. Because I need to see if I can cut a deal with him so I can get this excommunicado off my back. She said, okay, let me go get changed. So she finally gets changed, and she's not wearing like the sexy with the cleavage showing anymore. She got rid of that, and now she's wearing like a combat suit, a combat outfit. She ready to go kick some ass. So she's like, I'll help you, John, but I have to bring these guns. He said, we're not going in there to start shooting and blazing up. She said, nothing with you ends with a conversation, John. There's always a fight with you. There's always something going on with you. So I'm being prepared. So she has like these vest harnesses on her dog, and she puts the guns, tucks the guns in both of those harnesses on both dogs. Bruh. We finally see them go into the next scene. They're on their way to go see this man. And lo and behold, who's the man? Who is the mother freaking man? The dude from Game of Thrones. Freaking Bronn. Bronn of all people, man. That's who they went to go see? Well, from the looks of the things from Game of Thrones Season 8, how fast and how everybody's story arcs are going, Bronn wanted a castle. He wanted 2 castles, 3 castles. He never got a castle because Jaime's dead. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see Season 8, Episode 5, go watch that joint. Jaime's dead. Tyrion's the only one alive. Dany's Mad Queen, so Tyrion can't negotiate with Dany to get Bronn a freaking castle. So we see Bronn in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellem, and he finally got a castle. They're in a castle. Bronn finally got a castle, dog. To see him go from Game of Thrones to John Wick, it was just like, oh my God. This dude got his own castle. He got freaking liquor everywhere. He got a fountain. He got pillars, catacomb. This dude had it all. Fancy suit, bling bling watch. So they're trying to talk to this man to see if he can find out where can I go next to talk to somebody so I can actually reclaim my life and get the excommunicado off of me. So the Bronn is talking. I call him Bronn. I don't know his character in the movie. I think they said his name once. Started with a B, but I'm going with Bronn. That's the only B I know. He looks like Bronn. He will be Bronn to me. Bronn from Game of Thrones. This dude is actually toying with Sophia and John Wick. He's toying with them. If I give you clearance, because I'm supposed to kill you right here and right now, because you're excommunicado. So if I cut a deal with you, how you know that my life is not in danger? The high table can come after me. So you got to give me one of these dogs. That's exactly. He was talking to Sophia. He's not even talking to John. He's talking to Sophia. She's like, no, I'm not giving you my dog. He said, okay, well, I'm about to kill your dog. If I tell you where to go so John can get help, you got to give me this dog. So she don't give him the dog. He said, okay, your dog got to die. He shoots the dog. I thought the dog was dead. Dog was on the ground, moaning and groaning, making all that noise. And Sophia, a.k.a. Holly Berry, she just goes berserk, son. She pets her dog, calms the dog down. She trained his dog good because it looked like he could take the gunshot. She sneaked through, got the freaking bullet off the dog, took out her own gun and started blazing everybody. Shoot Bronn in the freaking hip or the shoulder, he went down. The dog went and started biting his freaking penis. The same dog that was wounded, that same dog got up real quick and bit his dick off, bleeding like crazy. Yo, and then she started murking all of Bronn's henchmen. Murk. Her and John going at it. Holly Berry was kicking ass, man. She would call the dog's name. The dog would go and sick and maul the henchmen, the evil enemy's arms or the legs. And yo, these dogs were pouncing on these dudes like freaking tigers and lions, bro. It was crazy. And there's two of them. So John and Sophia, they take out all these dudes. And then you see the dog still mauling on Bronn's penis, bro. On the testes. Blood everywhere. She looks at him. She don't kill him. She let him suffer. She shoots him in the right leg. And that's it. He's in pain. Bleeding out from the nutsack. Bleeding out from the leg. It's going down, son. Like, yo, it's freaking crazy. That scene, I mean, we seen Holly Berry kick ass in previous movies. But nothing like this, bruh. She's doing judo flips. She's doing roundhouse kicks. She's doing the gung fu as well. Bruh. So they finally got the information that they need. And they kick this man's ass and they leave his castle. They leave freaking Bronn's castle, dog. And they're going into the desert. So finally, Sophia, Holly Berry, my girl, she finally pulls up to a spot in the desert. They like way deep in the Sahara or wherever they're in Morocco. Deep in the desert. She takes out her dogs, got the big water bottle, pour damn half the bottle into a bowl for both dogs to drink. Damn near half the bottle, maybe 1/3 of the bottle's already done. No, there's like a little pinch of water left. She's like, all right, John, I helped you. This is as far as I go. You're on your own. She drinks the water, bro. Chugs it. Do all that, son. Pour it back in the bottle. Give it to John. Wish you all the best, John. She left him half to dead with the freaking little bit of water, man. That was messed up. But anyway, this man don't care. He's like, all he said was Sophia. That's his way of saying goodbye. He said goodbye. He's out. Walk, like Brian said, you gotta walk until you can't walk no more, and then still keep walking. And then the dude that looks for you, he will actually find you. So we finally see John Wick passed out. He got freaking desert sand all over him. He passed out on one of the hills. I don't know what happened. Maybe he, dehydrated, you know what I'm saying? He started seeing mirages and shit. We don't know. He's knocked out. And you see this peasant, whatever, with a camel. He pulling the camel. He got the whole headgear on, looking like a sultan. Finds John, puts him on the camel, takes him to that secret hideout in the desert. Dumps his body off the camel, and then they put him into the tent. He finally wakes up. John, the sultan, I guess, I forgot his name. The sultan, whoever was there, tells him, yo, your weapon is still with you. We ain't take your weapon. Drink some water because we need to talk. So he's going down the rundown saying, you're excommunicado. You're not even supposed to be alive. So why would I help you? Why won't you just die? Why? What's the reason why you want to live? Because I want to remember her. Oh, your wife? Yeah, he said, yeah, I want to have a memory of her. So it says, here's what we're going to have to do. You're going to have to kill the hotel manager in New York at that Continental Winston. We're going to take him out. If you do that for us, we'll put you on a high table, but you're going to be an assassin for us. So we need you to pledge allegiance, pledge your service, pledge your servitude to us. So he does. He gets on his knee. There's like a table for him to plead service or whatever to this guy, to the high table. So you know what he does? This man doesn't even have something to put on his mouth to bite down on. This dude, John, goes hard like a badass, son, and just takes that little chisel and stabs off his wedding ring finger, bruh. Stabs it off, son. He don't give a shit. He going ham. Takes his own finger. He bleeding out. Takes his own finger, takes the wedding ring off and said, I pledge my service to you. And he said, oh, thank you for your service. This will do nicely. Takes the ring, the sultan, or I guess he's a member of the high table. He takes it and puts it in his pocket and said, now you belong to us now. The guy, he tells one of his henchmen, okay, now stop the bleeding. He takes one of those, I guess like the same thing that he was branded with. He take one of them staffs and they stop the bleeding. They seal it up. His blood's still on the table, on that service table or whatever. John walks away. And now he's going to go back to New York. It's crazy. And now we get this one broad. She has that coin that has the A on it. Abductor, something like that, yo. This girl was annoying the whole movie, son. The whole freaking movie. Just annoying, son. She's going up to everybody, yo. Like, real talk. She's going up to everybody and just like, all of you guys that helped John Wick, you guys got to pay up. You guys got to serve up. We're either going to kill you or we're going to wound you severely. You need to pledge your allegiance. What is it going to be? Are you going to serve the high table or are you going to die? This short-haired, pale white chick, son, annoying through the whole movie, son. So she goes to the Pigeon King. The Pigeon King is Lawrence Fishburne, you know what I'm saying? He don't give a shit. Yeah, I helped John, but you ain't taking me off of my throne. This is my throne. I'm long live the king. And she's like, yo, because you helped him, you gave him this bullet that killed the man in chapter 2. You killed the man. This is the weapon that you gave him with the bullets that he used on this man and killed him on the continental grounds. So now you got to take 7 cuts. Deep cuts, too. So she orders the henchmen of the high table to cut this man up, and they cut him 7 times, bro. Left him to bleed out, left him for dead, son. It is crazy. And then they went back to the tribe that John Wick was raised. They went back to that lady. She decides that she's not gonna oppose the high table. She's gonna serve us. I'll do whatever it takes. So they said, stick out your hands. And the high table, that woman, abductor, adductor, I don't give a shit what she is. She's annoying. She tells the high table henchman to tell this woman, put out your hand. He draws his sword, stabs her in both hands. You see the blade go through one side of the hand, come out the other, and they pull it out real quick. And she bleeding out. She look like she got crucified. She got big holes in her hands, and she sits back down on the thing. And she's in complete servitude to the high table. They go into everybody. Then she goes to the Yakuza or the triads. I don't know what they are. She's sitting down there. They making sushi for her. She get the wasabi. He's telling her this is a deadly fish. She eats the deadly fish or whatever, flounder or whatever. I wasn't paying attention. I'm just looking at the overall story. And she's like, "Are you gonna help me take out this man?" So she uses him to be a disciple to take out John Wick, and we see him be the big villain at the end. That bald guy. He has a whole lot of henchmen and a whole lot of other assassins to help carry out his bidding. So they going around hunting for John. John. But John is supposed to be, his excommunicado is supposed to be rescinded. It's supposed to be deactivated because he pledged his servitude back to the high table. He's going back to New York to kill freaking Winston. So he finally gets back to New York, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't meet up with Winston yet. But he's trying to look for different ways like, oh man, I really don't want to kill him though. What can I do? But we still see these henchmen and these assassins still coming after him. So finally, the assassins catch up to him, the henchmen catch up to him, and they're having this big battle in the Hotel of Continental. But before that happens, you know what I'm saying? John, he goes and he said, I need guns. I need lots of guns. And he finally gets the guns because he finally catches up to Winston. But he doesn't want to kill Winston. Winston is his boy. They've been friends for a long time. So now they're fighting off. That freaking woman with the short hair finally catches up to John. She's talking to John and Winston. Okay, so since Winston don't want to give up the Continental, and since John doesn't want to kill him, both of you guys are gonna be, there's a hit on both of y'all. So today she said, we're gonna desecrate this hotel, and it's gonna be a place for business. It's gonna be open for business to assassinate on the hotel grounds. So she's calling up the high table or whatever, and everybody, the first wave of the high table comes in and tries to take out John. So John, the concierge butler who answers the telephones and takes the coins and everything, my baldy black guy with the glasses, this guy becomes a badass. Winston takes him to a vault where all the guns are. The dog is there. So Winston and the dog waiting in the vault. John and the concierge waiter or the teller, the representative at the desk, they go in, they get the guns they need. They start taking out the first wave of the high table. Murking them. Gung fu. Bruh, it was dope. There were some other concierge that was with that bald concierge. I forgot his name, but I just call him concierge. He's always saying, let's begin. I love that word when he says that. But those other concierge or representative or tellers of the hotel, they got murked so easy. That bald guy was the only guy left. Only guy left standing who came back with John and said, yo, let's get these other guns. They're like shotguns. And they had more pack of a punch. Yo, they went back in to go after the second wave. And they started murking them easier this time. Murking them. Killing them. Headshot, chest shots. Bruh, it was so graphic, son. It was so good. You see, it was good to see that concierge as a badass. He's always behind the table, taking in, the assassins or whatever, showing them to their room. Oh, thank you for coming to the Continental. He was always doing that. So it was good to see him actually become a badass in this movie. And then we finally get to see what Parabellem means, which means prepare for war. That's what it means. Oh my gosh, bro. In order to have peace, you must prepare for war. It was dope to hear Winston say that in like a different language. Oh, it was badass. And then we see John, the bullets between him and the concierge, the bullets or whatever, all those shotguns finally wear off. Now he's got these little handguns, look like 9mm or whatever. He's doing the gung fu again, and he's murking all of them. So finally the concierge goes back to Winston, and he's waiting out with him. And John, now he's going to fight the last three guys of the movie. He fights the two henchmen, and they're like beating his ass and everything. And after that, there was like a pause. And they're like, yo, it's very nice to finally meet you, Mr. Wick. And they pick him up. They help John up after they kicked his ass to the ground. They picked him up. And then now they finally get back into their stance and they're ready to go. Doing that Bruce Lee, you know what I'm saying? They finally get into their stances. They have like these little hand knives or whatever. And John with his little, with his ringless finger, his wedding ringless finger, he's finally ready to fight or whatever. And then they're kicking his ass. They kicked this man's ass through like every glass decor that you could find through the hotel. John Wick is going through every glass window, every glass statue. Like, this man don't know how to block. Every kick, he's going through some glass. It's crazy. You can't kick these little munchkins, these little short Asian dudes. Really, they kicking your ass that much? But then they finally say in their language, "Oh, he's been retired for 5 years. He's just slow now. This ain't, but he's still John Wick. But he's just an older, more exhausted John Wick." So they still kicking his ass. But John Wick finally gets the upper hand on that man, and he's murking them, doing the jujitsu flips and everything, kicking their ass. They keep getting up, kicking their ass again. So he finally starts killing them, like start giving them severe, deadly wounds to the chest, to the arms, breaking off, dislocating their arms and everything. Every jujitsu flip that he does, he's just flipping them over, flipping them over, flipping them over. And then he finally does one more judo flip. For that one little short guy, he does it to another guy. And all three of them go through the ceiling glass, the floor glass, and they land onto a different level, like a lower level of the Continental. It was crazy. It felt like John was fight. It felt like Game of Death when Bruce Lee was going up every level, every step. It was like, it felt like that, but it was just a glass display. It was like a glass building, and he's going up stair by stairs, and there's always somebody else he has to fight. The lower level henchmen, then them two little munchkins that were loyal to that one bald Asian assassin. So they finally get to this fight, and John is looking, he's shooting him with the gun or whatever. He can't get him because he's hiding behind the glass, and he keeps disappearing and stuff. And he keeps telling John, "See, we are exactly alike. We're only two warriors of death." And they're going at it, and it's just, this fight was so good. I just love the choreograph. I love the choreography between John and fighting off anybody, because I love the gung fu. I love the fighting styles that he does and how he takes out everybody. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So he finally kills this dude. John loses his sword because he had one of the swords from the other henchman, and then he's fighting the bad guy with his sword, and the bad guy knocks his sword out the hand. So they're both fighting with each other with that one sword, going back and forth, switching the sword off to each other, landing on the glass, trying to stab each other, but marking up the glass, smearing up the glass. And John finally gets a good shot, and he takes his sword, hits him in the chest. And the guy's on the ground, and he finally sits up. And he said, "Good fight, John." And he said, "Yeah, it was a good fight." I'm like, what the fuck? So John finally gets up, and he's grabbing his gun or whatever, grabbing the sword, and he walks away. And the bald guy said, "Oh, I'm going to catch up to you, John." And he said, "I'll see you later." And he said, "No, you won't." And John walks away, and the guy dies. The bald guy dies. So now the woman, John's looking to get back to Winston or whatever, and the woman, a freaking short-haired, annoying, pale white woman, goes and freaking, she's annoying as hell, bruh. She finally calls Winston and says, "Yo, I want a parlay." So now John is finally get back to Winston, but they're outside the Continental on the roof, and they're having a parlay with the concierge butler, Winston, and then that woman. She's sitting down on a couch on the rooftop or whatever, talking about what can we do to resolve it. So Winston is telling her, "I want my Continental back. I gave 40 years to the high table. You ain't taking that from me. I want my hotel back." And then here comes John Wick talking about parlay, what's going on? We're trying to figure out what could we do to resolve all of this tension. Because she's talking about the high table only sent the first wave. And he said, "You could take the Continental, but keeping it is what's difficult. Keeping that joint." So he's like, "Nah, I want my Continental." And she's like, "Okay, I'll give you the Continental. But what can we do about this man? John has broken every rule in the book. What can we do about this man?" So Winston looks at John and said, "I'm sorry, Jonathan," and starts shooting. Bam, 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 bam. He shoots John Wick all the way off the freaking rooftop, and John Wick lands hard. He hits a couple of guardrails or whatever, those fire exits or whatever. He hits a couple of those. He lands on one of the aprons of the hotel, bounces off, hits the dumpster, bounces off of that, hits on the concrete hard, like splat. Bruh. And we see the Pigeon King, one of his henchmen, one of his crew, take up John, and he's gone. Because that woman, she was leaving. And she walks out of the main entrance of the hotel. She was about to get into her car, going back to the high table. She's like, "Let me go see if John is dead. Let me see if he's still there." His body is gone. So she goes back to Winston and said, "Yo, what happened? I thought you killed John. His body's not on the side of the street. It's not in the alleyway no more. Where the f did he go? Where'd he go?" So she's like, "You know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. We have to take him out because he can come back and try and kill us in our sleep." So John, he gets help from the Pigeon King's henchman. The henchman takes him. He has him in a cart. And while the woman is talking to Winston, there goes the pit bull. She could smell John. He could smell, the pit bull could smell John's fragrance. He could smell his aroma. So the pit bull's running. And you see him running to the henchman. And you see John being pushed in a cart, and the pit bull's right there, taking him to the Pigeon King. And you see Lawrence Fishburne sitting on his throne underneath. He's not on top of buildings with the pigeon. He's underneath the buildings, like under the bridges or whatever in New York. And he's sitting on his throne as the Pigeon King. He's not a Pigeon King no more. He's more like a Rat King, because that's where he is. He's under the city. He's in the sewer. He's in the streets now. And he's all cut up and everything. And he's on it. He looks at John and says, yo, John Wick, you look as bad as I feel. It was crazy to see that, man. It was funny. Lawrence Fishburne knows how to get those puns in there. You look as bad as I feel, man. And John just gives him the middle finger. It's like, yo, yeah, that's me, yeah. And he's like, oh, shoot, they took your wedding ring finger, huh? And he said, yeah, I pledge. He said, and then he's talking about Winston, how, oh, I would have done the same thing to you, John. I would have kept my hotel and shoot you in the ass or shoot you in the face. I don't care. You ain't taking my hotel from me where I live fabulous. Nah, bruh. So he said, I'm pissed off, John. What we gonna do about it? Are you pissed off like I am? And you see him, and when he said that, he was actually off his throne, and he's right in John Wick's face. And John Wick just brushes off his dirty ass hair. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. And it looks like that's the end of the movie, guys. It was so good to see that. And I don't know. It looked like they could do a fourth one now. Just the way it ended, it looked like they could do a fourth one. Because the Pigeon King has his henchmen, and he has John Wick, Bubba Yaga. Yo, it was crazy. Because even Winston said it at the end of the movie. Bubba Yaga. He could come, he could be the boogeyman. He can come in at nighttime or whenever, or when you least expect it, and he can kill your ass or kick it. Bruh, this movie felt like me watching the first movie of John Wick, man. The original trilogy. It felt so good. From start to finish, it was kick-ass, man. It was fantastic. It had me, I wasn't bored 1 second. It was not, to me, it wasn't a popcorn film for me. When I see Hobbs and Shaw, now that's a popcorn film. It's just explosive, action, explosion. This had a great story. It had depth, and I loved it. I loved Halle Berry playing the sidekick to John, how they used to be friends or whatever. They had a history. He helped her. She helped him. It was beautiful to see that. And she was badass. I'm telling you, I love to see my females badass in these movies, bro. I'm with it. It's 2019. Let's show that these women are equal with men, bro. Not that they need to be in the kitchen with an apron on or whatever. They can kick your ass with a gun in their hand or with their 2 fists and their 2 feet. That is a fact. And Sophia, she was just badass through the whole movie trying to help out John. I loved it. I loved it. Another thing I wanted to notice is that, when they went back to the actual operating, the secretary building, where you had all those people saying excommunicado and everything, and you had that lady keep on announcing it, they showed the penguin. The freaking penguin from Gotham was in this joint. I was like, what the hell? That's when the lady was calling about the Continental being desecrated. He's like, we're going to desecrate it, put it in. He announced it. Freaking Oswald Cobblepot in Gotham that just finished its season 5 season finale. Season 5 of Gotham is done, and the penguin from that show was in this movie. That was dope to see. I don't remember if he was in the second one. I should have watched the second one before I saw this movie, but you already know I was going to be there day one. I love this movie, y'all. Squad, go see this movie. Support it, man. Let it make its money, bro. Because I'm telling you, if it happens and this movie comes out making that money, I'm telling you, we're going to get a TV show series, bro. And it's going to be about the Continental. It's probably even going to be before John Wick was ever a member of the Continental. A regular annual guest who always comes, you know what I mean? Or we might get a younger version of John Wick and how he was probably the one who started the first seal with the mark. And then they're going to show the coin and everything, how the first Continental coin was created. Bruh, this movie was epic. Go see this movie, man. Support it. If you're a fan of Keanu Reeves, support it, bruh. Support it. I loved him in 47 Ronin. I loved him in Constantine, the Matrix movies. The first one, not the last two. The first one. Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution. Those movies was ass. The first Matrix. Keanu Reeves as Neo. That's my man's. Go support this movie, because who would have thought that Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne will come back? Both who played in the Matrix. trilogy will come back into this trilogy. Lawrence Fishburne wasn't in the first John Wick, but he was in these last two. And he was epic as the Pigeon King, and you see him helping out John Wick. It's just that chemistry was always there between Neo and Morpheus. Now they're together again as the Pigeon King and John Wick. Go support this movie, man. Everybody had a pivotal role in this movie, and it was epic. It wasn't dry. It wasn't salty. It was fantastic. Go support this movie, y'all. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know if you loved this movie. If you did see the movie, let me know if it was hot or not. I want to read those, and I want to get y'all opinion. Facts. Like, subscribe, share Geek Samurai. And until then, guys, I'll see you in another video. Peace.